Forget it. Officer, hold this so it doesn't follow me. People have to be proactive. Fast. Are you done? Okay.
Okay. Lights okay.
But you are a cameraman, you don't have lights. Eh? Chief cameraman, Kongosa. You bring one phone. You guys okay?
Guys, are you okay?
Officer, let another person stand outside so nobody opens the door. Ghanaians have come a long way in terms of nurturing our young democracy. We've been faced with a lot of challenges as a nation, as a young democracy, and we are learning in the process. Tomorrow, we have to demonstrate to the world whether we are still a country of peace and the gateway to Africa, or we have to demonstrate to the world that we are a country of violence and fight one another. But I don't think that is what we want as a people. Ghana is beyond pettiness. I am appealing to all of you. Before I make my statement, Ghanaians watching me live all over, listening to me, should know that there's only one country for the people called Ghana and Ghanaians, and that is Ghana. And it is our responsibility and our rules and our pride to protect our country, Ghana. And it includes all of you, the youth, the aged, the politicians, the military, the police, and all other institutions, the workers, friends, and families, that we must protect our country. And no basa basa. No basa basa. Do not be used by any political leader to turn you into attack, to cause trouble, and destroy the peaceful country we have all lived in. We want to have peace before, during, and after the 2024 general election. And all of us have something to offer. So let's make that sacrifice from today until Monday. But let me start with what I called you in for here. Ghana is in crisis. Ghanaians are suffering. The hardship is real. And we are looking for a way out. We are looking for a leader, a party that will give us the best policies that will change our country. We have seen promises, and we are tired of the promises. What we need now is decisive leadership and policies that will change our country. I bring on board, as the leader of the party APC, the flag bearer for the 2024 general election, 7 key pillars that is going to transform our country and make it one of the best in the world. And as a matter of fact, pillar number 1 is nationalization. Pillar number 2 is modernization. Pillar number 3, digitalization. Pillar number 4, domestication. Number 5, commercialization. Number 6, industrialization. And number 7, globalization. These 7 pillars are embodied in what I want to explain to you as a country. I have brought in 47 policies, not promises, 47 of the policies that will change Ghana and make it self-reliant, self-resilient, and economically freedom. I believe in one that has citizens, the first policy change of mindset. That until we change our mindset as citizens and believe to embrace the culture of transparency, the culture of honesty, the culture of truth, good leadership, patriotism, and sincerity. And that we must work together as a nation and change that mindset that we have of being dependent, a mindset that we ignore each other and call it politics, a mindset that we avoid each other and call it democracy. That our leaders must show different kind of leadership, that we need a president that will have to be transparent to its citizens, sincere with its citizens, trustworthy, and periodically will have time to explain to the Ghanaian citizens where they are as a country and what they do. And once we change that mindset, we are able to work together as a country, as a nation, and build the country of every citizen being proud of Ghana and having a responsibility to build Ghana. Until this mindset change happens, nothing will work for Ghana, no matter your policy. Policy number 2. After the change of mindset, the Ghanaians now believe there's a leader who wants to lead them. We now look at ownership. Ghanaians want to own their country. They want to own their country, their nation. Ghana is losing everything. That foreigners have taken over our wealth, our country. Our oil industry is in the hands of foreigners. Mining in the hands of foreigners. Bauxite in the hands of foreigners. Diamond in the hands of foreigners. Cocoa in the hands of manganese in the hands of foreigners. Oil in lithium. Everything is managed by foreigners. So where is the ownership? That's as a president, you need to make the citizens own their country. And that is number 2 policy. Ghana and Ghanaians first. That I believe that we must empower our local citizens. Local content must be given to Ghanaian citizens and not to foreigners. And that Ghanaians pay taxes and foreigners are given tax holidays. Ghanaian companies are going down and foreign companies are growing. That retailing is now being taken over by foreigners. And our citizens have no future, have nowhere to go. So we don't owe Ghana anymore. We have no authority and ownership of our country. And our leader, Hassan Ayariga, want to give back Ghana to Ghanaians. And then you become the ownership of your country. So that in the mining sector, it's you Ghanaians. In the oil sector, it's Ghanaians. Every industry in Ghana is owned by Ghanaians. Go around this country. Most of the businesses have now, big-time businesses are owned by foreigners. And we have become the slaves. The neo-colonialism Nkrumah is talking about. So that is number 2. Number 3, you cannot have citizens you don't know. So I intend to implement a national data system. That is policy number 3, national data system, which is called national database. That's as a citizen, as a country, we don't know each other. The president doesn't know us. He cannot tell the number of citizens who live in Ghana, how they live, what they do, and how they work. So I am going to roll out a national data system that is totally different from a national card. A national data system includes taking your biometrics. First of all, taking your phone number is unique. Taking your biometrics, your facial recognition, all that. Continue to take your properties, your houses, your cars, your land properties, and have your wife details. Then come to take your blood sample. What kind of blood group you use and division, Ghana ports, immigration, the police, and every other institution will be getting its data. DVLA, Electoral Commission. So when you turn 18, you don't need to walk to DVLA and Electoral Commission until they are doing their limited registration exercise before you get your voter's card. No, you get a letter from the office that you are 18. Go and pick your voters ID card. This is a system that is built on institution, and it moves on. After that, what is the next? When you have a data, what do? You begin to plan. As a country, pillar number 4 of the APC is National Development Plan. We don't plan. We've been talking about National Development Plan for 30 years, 40 years. Who is alive in the next 30 years to develop a plan? We need a plan now that we can execute now. Because we have a data now. And with that data, we can execute our plan now. So with the national data system, we now begin to plan. What do we do as a country? We want to build a railway system from Accra to Boko. We want to begin to have students who are properly educated in various sectors. So we need IT students, we need doctors, we need engineers. We know the number of engineers we need at the goal. We know the number of policemen. So when we apply, you are getting a quota to become a police officer. At level 400, you get your quota to become a military officer. No more search for job and all that. Now, policy number 5, economic lockdown. What is economic lockdown? Many of us do not know that we should have learned something from pandemic, the economic pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. When we locked down our country under COVID, 3 weeks we could not sustain our country. And then after 3 weeks, we had to lift the lockdown in order for Ghanaians to survive, because we did not have food security. What our country did not learn, or what our leaders did not learn, was that we had issues with food security, and that we could not sustain our country if the lockdown had continued. And for that matter, I am opening what is called economic lockdown to build this country not to become a dependent nation anymore, but to become a self-reliant, self-sufficient economy. So the purpose of the economic lockdown is to begin to produce, manufacture, and industrialize. So we are going to start with the production companies, manufacturing companies, and industries. So Ghana is now going to lock down to increase productivity, manufacturing, and industry. So fertilizer will now begin to do our own fertilizer. We now begin to farm our own product. We spend $1.2 billion every year importing rice. Meanwhile, we have farmlands that we cannot farm rice. We spend over $830 million importing cooking oil. Meanwhile, we have shea butter that we can use for oil. We have palm oil that we can use for oil. We have granite that we can use for oil. We have coconut that we can use for oil. We have soybean that we can use for oil. Yet we import all this. So what it means is that we are not focused. We don't have the vision. Those who lead us do not understand economic governance. There's a difference between governance and economic governance. We need to blend the two. And I am telling you that as president, I am going to lock you down for 1 year. No importation, no exportation. We must build our country devoid of being pettiness and being dependent on any other country to survive. Under the lockdown, I now go to the policy the NDC adopted. That when you lock down your economy, you don't sleep 16 hours and work 8 hours. You now work 24 hours round the clock, because you want to achieve economic dependency and transformation. So you work 8 hours in the morning for production, 8 hours in the afternoon for manufacturing, 8 hours in the evening for industrialization, industries. So you have 3 shift system, 24 hour round the clock, producing, manufacturing, and industry. So this is the purpose of a 24-hour economy. That a 24-hour economy cannot exist without you having a production, manufacturing, and an industrial hub. Who are you going to run? When you run 24-hour economy, as a country, our labor force cannot sustain a 24-hour economy. So what we need is to import labor from other countries, various countries, Burkina Faso, Togo, to be able to run the 3 shifts system. Because the 3 shift system means that you are dividing your workforce into 3 groupings. So you have a workforce of 900 workers, 300 in the morning, 300 in the afternoon, and 300 at night. to have a perfect productive level and increase productivity at all levels. And the city become vibrant day and night. And everybody will be busy. This is the purpose of a 24-hour economy. So those who cannot explain well should listen, and those who do not understand should listen. NDC is struggling to explain, and MPP is struggling to understand. Under the 24-hour economy, you need to look at another aspect. Because when you import labor force, you need to look at the welfare of the labor force. Currently, Ghana's Labor Act 2003 651 has pledged daily minimum wage at 18 cedis 99 pesos. What it means is that at the end of the day, your salary will be between 600, 700, 800 Ghana. And this is what Ghanaians are getting now. Who in this world can sustain with 800 Ghana cedis a month in Ghana? Because the transport to and fro is over 800 cedis. So I am going to change the Labor Law Act to pledge the minimum wage from 150 Ghana cedis to 300, the daily minimum wage. And now increase the monthly minimum wage from 1,000 Ghana cedis to 5,000 cedis every month. So Ghanaians' minimum wage a month is going to be 5,000 Ghana cedis no matter who you are. That's the minimum. You see, if you engage a laborer today, he takes 100 cedis a day. And if you engage the services of a mason, he will take you 150 to 180. How then will workers, Ghanaian workers, taking 80 Ghana cedis, 18 cedis? So you see that my justification of giving Ghanaians daily minimum wage of 150 to 300 is clear. Another aspect, another policy, is that even with this daily minimum wage of 18 cedis, when you take your salary, it doesn't last you a week. So what I intend to do is that I am going to change the salary structure, that instead of Ghanaians taking every month's salary, listen very well, instead of our citizens taking 30 days salary, I am now going to reduce it down to 2 weeks. The Ghanaians will now be taking every 2 weeks salary, which is called a bi-weekly salary. So from now, when I become your president next year, no more 1 month salaries. All of you will be taking two weeks salaries. So which means that the daily minimum wage for 2 weeks salary is going to be what? 2,500 Ghana cedis. In order to continue to increase productivity, there's one thing that kills our country and our citizens: high cost of doing business, high cost of goods and services in the market. Every product in Ghana is the most expensive in the world. Every product. Your phone is the most expensive in the world. Your laptop is the most expensive in the world. Your watch is the most expensive in the world. Your keyboard is the most expensive in the world. You know why? Because even at the production level, the price we pay as Ghanaians is 3 times the cost of its original value from wherever it is being manufactured. And our people say that they were going to move, the current government and other government were going to move from taxation to production, and they never did. Now what is killing us is duty. Duty. Because of duty, prices of produce and products in the market is the most expensive in the world. Your car is becoming the most expensive in the world. I bought a car for $10,000. I cleared it for $40,000. You can imagine. All of you are having the same problem. So now our pots are empty because the cost of doing business and bringing in goods is too expensive. So I am going to run a duty-free economy. So that is the policy. Duty-free, no more duty of anything in Ghana as president. Because duty is killing us. It's killing the manufacturing company. It's killing the industries. It's killing the production company. So now we don't produce anything. Going forward, another cost that item that makes us run into debt and cannot manage our country is high cost of electricity. High cost of our meters are reading more than we are consuming. So you are paying for electricity that you are not consuming. So what am I going to do as President Hassan Ayariga? I will take off your meter, no more meter. I am going to run a country of flat rate and no more meters. Fixed rate. So every house in Ghana is now going to be paying a fixed rate. So you cannot do illegal connection. And because I'm giving you a fixed rate and it's a moderate rate, you will be willing to pay. For instance, this house, this office is a 3-bedroom. So every week I'm paying 100 cedis. Every 2 weeks I'm going to be paying 100 cedis. So a monthly salary ECG for this house will be 200 Ghana. For a shop, kiosk, container, office, barbering saloon, saloons, and all those offices, containers, their monthly fixed rate is going to be 50 Ghana. And 50 Ghana is going to be your fixed rate for your ECG and water. We cannot be in a country where our government is killing us more than we want to live. Going forward, Ghanaians are complaining of jobs. The youth are complaining of jobs. The women are complaining of jobs. Under my policy of production, manufacturing, industrialization, I am going to establish nationwide job centers in every district. Every district of Ghana, there will be a nationwide job center. So there will be job centers in all the districts. So you will get the opportunity to access job through the district centers, and the manufacturing companies, the industries, because we are working 24 hours on the clock, will also have the opportunity to key into the job centers their vacancies. So nobody search for job, no. Pay for job, no. Big man for job, no. Following a political leader for job, no. Choose your leaders wisely so that you do not have to go and vote for somebody because you think it's going to be your brother and sister and give you a job. No, the job is not supposed to be a matter of choice. It's supposed to be for everybody. Everybody must ask it, not because you know a politician or you don't know a politician, or not because you are a lady and he's a man, he'll give you a job. I will not run that kind of system or governance in this country. Moving forward, we're losing everything. Another policy that sooner or later, Ghanaians will lose their sovereignty to foreigners. As a matter of fact, our country is going to be owned by foreigners. And as a matter of fact, because of a high level of poverty, we are going to lose this country to foreigners. As we speak now, all our prime lands and prime communities are owned by foreigners. And very soon, if they are smart, as I suggest, if they are very smart, as I predict, in the next 10 years, they will bring a candidate, because Ghana law says you are Ghanaian by either birth or naturalization, and you are 40 years and above, and you are sane. That is the requirement to become president. But because we have a problem as citizens, we vote for people with more money than more brains. Ghanaians vote for people with more money than more brains. And because we vote for people with more money than more brains, any foreigner who happens to have money and has naturalized as a citizen can easily become president. That is the only thing that is left for us as citizens. Every other thing is gone to the foreigners. I want to protect the sovereignty of this country for your son, for your grandchild, and for your great-grandchild. So all those who naturalize and hold the Ghanaian passport cannot run for president, cannot become a minister, cannot become a chief, is not entitled to buy property in his name or own property in his name. You can only own property in the name of the first-class citizen who is father and mother Ghanaian. And then whatever you do business with him. If it is time for you to go. The property belongs to him and he stays in Ghana. Going forward, many Ghanaians do not have jobs. And as a matter of fact, we're having a big problem. And that problem is that a lot of Ghanaians cannot benefit from anything. And I am implementing what is called the unemployment benefit. So those who do not have job for now, because our digitalization and knowing our data system, all those who do not have jobs will be taken care by government. That's a social intervention. And don't forget, once you are under the payroll of government has an unemployment benefit, you cannot own a car. You cannot own a house. You cannot have properties. We will take care of you as government, but until you sell those properties and consume it, you will not be entitled to my policy. Be careful. Don't think I'm joking here. So I'm not. Then going forward, after making sure that we have free duty, free port, no taxes, one important aspect, I am going to implement what is called price control and guarantee system. No more free market. Because when you give them free port, free duty, flat rate for electricity, they will produce at a very low cost. And some businessmen and retailers will want to take advantage of that. So what I intend to do is to enroll what is called price control and guarantee system. That means that every commodity in the market, the prices of those commodities will be determined by government and the producers or the retailers or the manufacturers, so that you do not increase the price of goods anyhow, so that we are able to cushion the system. We go to mining. The famous mining problems, Galamsey, the famous our destruction of our water bodies. As president, one thing is clear, that let me repeat, no institution will mine under my government. Mining will only be the state who have the authority to mine. I am going to close down all mining facilities and institutions and mining, what do you call them, companies, and do auditing into it. All those mining companies that have destroyed our water bodies, our farmlands, our trees, will pay a penalty and will reclaim those lands. And now I am now going to build mining institutions, train Ghanaians, Galamsey workers, who are now Galamsey workers, and put them into the mining institutions, train them well, and now enroll them into state mining companies. And the most important part of it is that Ghanaians will now have the power to buy shares in the government mining authorities and government mining companies. So you are entitled to buy shares. So if you are a mining company and you want to, Ghanaian citizens, and you want to own shares, you can buy shares in the state mining. So we are going to have state mining institutions and no more large scale, small scale Galamsey. So Galamsey will be tenor of the past, and state will not destroy its water bodies or farmland. Ghanaian city, our city is struggling. As president, I am going to ban all kind of Forex accounts in Ghana. Nobody will have a Forex account. That means you cannot have cedi, dollar, euro, pounds, dollar accounts, no more. I'm closing it down. Number two, I am going to ban transaction of buying properties in dollars. Nobody will buy property in dollars under my leadership. Nobody will quote and sell properties in dollars. Number three, nobody will pay school fees or quoting school fees in dollars. It won't happen. Number five, no hotel, embassies, or any other institution will be quoting anything in dollars. And lastly, the only place that will have dollar transaction is that the Forex bureaus, I'm going to regulate them to only be at the airport. It is only at the airport that you can have a stand and buy dollar there and sell dollar because of those who come in. But outside the jurisdiction of the airport, no more dollar transaction. It will be a taboo. I don't care what the state wants to think about. Debt stock. We have huge debt stock as citizens. And that currently, almost every Ghanaian is owing 100,000 Ghana cedis, being a citizen of Ghana. Being a citizen, if you give birth to your son today, tomorrow he's owing 100,000. Why? Because we borrowed and borrowed and borrowed, and we don't know what we're going to do. Under my leadership, Hassan and Ayariga, President Hassan, no borrowing. As President of the Republic of Ghana, I am not going to borrow. I am going to get back my mining, oil back, bauxite back, manganese back, lithium. Ghana is going to own 100% of that shares and no more 10%. Because the 10% share that we owe and 90 goes to foreigners, then we go out to them and go and borrow. Meanwhile, they are repatriating 90% of our wealth outside. Who does that? That you give 90% of your wealth out and then you run to them and go and borrow. And you tell me you don't have the technology when you have all these men and women and you cannot make good use of them and you keep borrowing. So when I reclaim back our country, our mineral resources and our wealth, I won't borrow. I think I have enough to become a production and manufacturing industry, and you have enough to survive without borrow, so that our debt stock will go down drastically. Because as new president, I am going to negotiate to get our debt cancelled, and I'm going to negotiate to make sure we don't borrow anymore. We are not going to borrow under the leadership of Hassan Ayariga. Lastly, or two more points. Every young man listening to me is a potential military man in my land, will go for 1 year military training to instill discipline in our society and make sure we are ready to protect our country at all times. Ladies, it's an option. If you want to go for military training, it's an option. But every young man from 18 years and above will get military training 1 year. This is compulsory. But for women, it's an option. We need to begin to build our country against any threat in the world. And that military training is to empower all of you and train you to be ready for all kind of calamities, all kind of pandemics, all kind of war, that our youth are ready to defend their nation, and our youth are ready to be disciplined and know how to behave in our country. Lastly, the most important 4 factors. I have 47, but I do not want to burden you because tomorrow we are voting. I have 4 issues. The 4L. Clean the nation. Under my leadership, Ghana is going to be the cleanest city in the world. No more gutters, open gutters. I'm going to make sure. No more bad roads. There will be bins everywhere. Our students and children will be trained on sanitation laws right from primary, nursery, basic, and to universities. And we must begin to clean every part of our country. It's job. Job cleaning is also an opportunity. It's a course. Then light the nation. Ghana is too dark. Every street of Ghana will have street lights under my leadership, in all the cities, in all the districts, in all the communities. Because I'm going to enroll 3 different kinds of power. Solar, in the northern sector part of Ghana, which is free. Windmill in the coastal area, which is free. And hydro in areas where we have water and dust. Why are we not harnessing the power of sunshine and windmill free of charge? And we are increasing tariffs every day. Flag the nation. Every household must be proud of its nation, Ghana. Get a small flag, like outside that you see Ghana flag. Flag your country to show your level of patriotism and love for your country. That every day you come out of your house, you know you are responsible for the country called Ghana. And you should be proud of it. And on my honor, you should do everything right to defend and uphold the laws of Ghana and make it the nation you want it to be. Americans are doing it. They have flags all over their country. It reminds them of their responsibility to their nation and to their fellow Americans. You must have that in your mind. That it's a responsibility for you to protect the sovereignty We do not modernization under my 7 policy. We are not modernizing our economy. We are not. We see everything okay because we are used to it. We don't see fault with our country because we live in it every day. We assume it's normal. But when you keep doing wrong things for all the time, for a very long time, you see it as normal. You don't see that wrong anymore because you are used to it. You keep voting the same paymasters. Must we continue to salute people who do not work? When you come and look at the roads, just look at the road. This is Accra, the capital town, the capital city of Ghana. Are you proud? Are you proud to call this your country? All of you here, most of you have traveled to many other cities. Don't you see cities? So media, it is your responsibility to ask hard questions. Don't allow them to get away with it. So tomorrow, make that decision and let them know the pain in you. That you are not happy with the governance system. Demonstrate it by voting them out and not recycling. Change is a key to new life. And we need to change. If you keep wearing one shirt for a very long time, it will smell. Ghana is smelling, NDC is smelling, MPP is smelling. Change. You've been wearing them for too long, guys. The white has become brown. The other white has become black. Change, guys. Don't be afraid to make a change. And don't sit at home and say you will not go and vote because you are tired. A vote not cast is a wasted vote. A vote not cast is a wasted vote. Because when you refuse to go out and vote, the die-hard members of the NDC and MPP will go out and vote. And this election now becomes, listen very well, if you don't go out and vote, the vote will be determined by the number of die-hard NDC members against the number of die-hard NDC members. It's going to be determined by the number of die-hard MPP members against the number of die-hard NDC members. They will make that decision for us. If you allow them to make that decision, they will elect a leader you don't want. And Ghana is not going up, it's going to sink. So tomorrow's election will be determined by you. Whether you want to make a change, all of you here, whether you want Ghana to be better by taking these two parties out and voting APC and Hassan Ayariga, or whether you want to continue and live in misery and crisis. I am only telling you the truth and opening your eye. But you must make that decisive decision. Don't forget, one thing the NDC and MPP would not like to see is you, the elite, going out to vote. You know why? Because you will make decisive decisions based on policies and not based on monetary terms. So for you, they are preparing you to be among those who will not go out to vote. So that for them, no matter how rich you are, no matter how learned you are, no matter how intelligent you are, no matter how powerful you are, your vote is one. So why waste my time on an intelligent, powerful young man who is now going to be asking me questions? Let me ignore him and go to the street. Go to the Kayayu. Go to the labor on the street, the mason on the street, and say, Manusikana and Tumaya. Simple. But then, the labor decides your future. The Kayayu will decide your future. The beggar on the street is going to decide your future. But you, the learned one, instead of deciding their future, you allow them to decide your future. So who's who? So ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be serious voter apathy this year because many Ghanaians that I've gone around to talk to are saying they don't want to vote. And I pray that they come out. If not, we are going to record huge voter apathy in 2024. Many do not have money to travel to their communities to vote. Many do not have the resources to go back to their villages to vote. So there will be huge, even it has been demonstrated by the special votes. Go to the special voting and see. And then you will see there are places where over 500 people who are supposed to vote, 200 came out. 300 didn't come out. Okay. Lastly, vote buying, vote selling. I want you to concentrate tomorrow on the issue of vote buying. But don't forget, if you don't sell, they won't buy. So in as much as the citizens are selling their votes, the politicians are buying. So let us not blame the politicians for buying the vote. If you don't sell, they won't buy. So stop selling your votes and don't stop buying. So tomorrow, as tonight, as you tell this story of Hassan Ayariga and the APC, I am asking Ghanaians to stop selling their votes and vote wisely. Vote with your conscience and not with your pocket and stomach. You eat it one day, but you wait for 4 years to eat again. Vote for a leader that will transform you 4 years and not the one that will starve you 4 years. I thank you very much for coming. And any question, I am here to answer. Thank you very much.
APC.
Power to the people. APC.
Power.
Yes.
I have one question.
Let's stop the recycling and go for the APC. And take
I need a-
questions.
I left my pen in there.
Take 3 questions.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, please. Your name and where you
This one. Yes.
The phone. All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Thank you. Oh, GS. Welcome. I've got one from GS. Yes.
Yeah.
Your question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Joseph. I arrived
Joseph.
Joseph Ojumu.
Okay.
I arrived from the difference.
The difference.
Yes.
Your question.
Yeah, my question, just 2 questions. One for all your program policy going perfect.
Thank you.
But are Ghanaian ready for you to lead them?
All right.
Secondly, looking on your policy, or your passport, father, mother Ghanaian to own all assets to be known. What are those of dual citizen? Maybe I'm a Nigerian, and my mother is Ghanaian, so I can't own the property because we are under Commonwealth and we are in a global. If you are trying, every people to be Ghanaian. So what of you?
That's half-half.
Yes, we are
Those who are half-half.
yeah, we
Okay.
are immigrants. If you
Ah.
told us that maybe you are from Nigeria.
I know. Which part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm from Delta State.
I grew up in Kaduna State.
Okay, see now.
I went to, but I didn't buy property in Kaduna. Yes. I'll come to you. Yes. Good afternoon. How are you? Your name?
Ethel from
Metro
Metro TV.
TV. Go ahead.
I have 4 questions.
No, 4 is too much, but I'll take it.
So, on the economic lockdown,
Yes.
aside from, I was wondering how prepared Ghana is for a 1-year economic lockdown,
Okay.
taking into consideration pharmaceuticals and all.
Yeah.
Also, on the duty free,
Yes.
I just wanted you to explain further who exactly benefits from the duty free.
Okay.
Otherwise, is the government not losing taxes that could be used to develop the country?
Okay.
On sovereignty,
Yeah.
I wanted to find out then what then would be Ghana's international relation with other countries if the strong sovereignty policies are put. And then the last one is during the special voting,
Yeah.
I was opportune to go around and I didn't see at least for the 4 polling stations I went to, I didn't see party agents for APC.
Okay.
Going into tomorrow, what is APC's plan to safeguard their votes?
All right. Okay, so let me answer these ones. First of all, Joseph, are Ghanaians ready for me? Joseph, you answered the question. You said my policies are the best. Are you ready for me?
I'm just saying.
No. But it's going viral. You see, gradually, Ghanaians are becoming descendant. And they are opting out of the NDC and MPP. But instead of opting out to go for a third force, they are opting out to be adamant and sitting down quietly, which is another problem. They are supposed to opt out and then look for candidates that have the best policies, like Hassan, to then adapt, okay, and vote for the third force. The last survey I saw, Max 24 TV, and they brought all the 13 candidates, and they talked about youth voting for policies and the best leader, and not voting for party names. APC was number one. Hassan Ayariga became number one with 37.6%. John Mahama came second with 24. Baumia came third with 18. Alan came fourth with 12. New Force came fifth with 8. I'm sure most of you saw this, right? This is showing that the youth of this country are becoming descendants. And sooner or later, the NDC and MPP will not have future. So if you ask me, are Ghanaians ready for me? The question is yes, and the question is no. Yes, because some are becoming descendant, and gradually they are accepting. No, because it is too early for them to understand it. But I am not in a rush to become president. I am in a rush to change Ghana's crisis and solve Ghana's problem, rather than being in a rush to be Ghana's president. So if these problems can be implemented by any party, I will go and sit down and drink my tea and coffee and enjoy my wealth. But if they are not, I will push harder until I take it and change it. Look at Ghana. Our salary is less than 1,000, but we are paying the most expensive item in the world. Everything in Ghana is the most expensive. Why? It's leadership. And I'm going to the Metro TV. Then you talk about half. You see, I'm glad you're a Nigerian half, but you're not a Ghanaian half. The fact of the matter is that if you're half, your father can buy the property for you in your name, because your father is full Ghanaian. So you get the benefit for that. Look, my brother, you're a Nigerian. Nigeria is over 300 million people. The Nigerian market is one of the biggest in Africa. And I want to be sincere with you. I grew up in Nigeria. I studied in Nigeria. I went on exile. When Rawlings made a coup, my father had to take me and run out of this country. My father was then a minister and a member of parliament for Limam's regime. And we had to go to exile to go and live in Nigeria. So I grew up partly in Nigeria and partly abroad, in Germany and the US. So I've lived in Nigeria and I know Nigeria. The Nigerian market has been taken over by foreigners. True or false? I want you to answer. Huh? Come again? It's true. Gradually, if you do not implement this policy, you're going to lose your country to foreigners. I am not implementing it for myself. The sovereignty thing, I am doing it for our future generation. Because we are supposed to be protecting them. And we are leaving them. We are giving their nation to somebody else. So when it gets to their turn, they will have nothing to live on. By that time, they will curse you and I in our graves. For giving out their wealth to somebody else. So it's not every leader who thinks like me. No, the NDC people, they don't even understand this kind of policy. They won't understand. Tell them, they will say, oh, Ayariga doesn't know what he's doing. But they don't know what they are doing. Because they have no vision. They are thinking about themselves, selling the country to Europeans, to Americans, to Canadians, to Chinese. And taking what? Peanuts. Today it's peanuts. Tomorrow the value will go up and you can buy. Let me tell you a story. One of my uncles in Boku, where I come from, keeps selling his lands to neighboring the neighbors around, the people around, the other tribes. My uncle called him and said, Alaji, why are you selling the properties of your children out? Tomorrow, where do you want them to go and have property? Because tomorrow, they will not be part of the community. They have to go to different communities to buy land and become what? Foreigners in that community, because you have sold their property out. You know what he told my uncle? That when the children grow, they should go up the sky and sell them. You know what my uncle told him? Oh, that's a good answer. Then you to now go up and sell and leave the one down. So you see, my brother, I'm not against you as being a foreigner, but I love my son. I love my grandchild. I love my great-grandchild. And I am the one to protect them, because it is my time to protect them. When it gets to their time, they will protect the others. And if I allow you to take it, what is his future? Today he cannot buy land, but tomorrow he can. And where will be the land? Foreigners have taken. Where is he going to own as Ghana? Ghanaians, we don't have any property anymore. So these stories I'm telling you guys today, be serious about it. Don't go and sleep with this. This is the policy, you don't sleep with it. Madam from the metro, economic lockdown 1 year. Madam, let me be honest with you. When I become president, the first 1 year, I will import all necessity, goods of necessity, food to be able to survive us for the 1 year. Once I lock down 1 year, you are not going out, you are not going in. You assume that this Ghana is the only country in the world, and how do we survive? If we lock this room now, and somebody locks here and say we should go out, we'll find a way of going out. But if they don't lock the room, we'll all pass here. So we must begin to use our brains to begin to change our consumption pattern and the way we dress and the way we behave, to build our country that must suit us. We cannot be dependent on every country for survival. We cannot be dependent on other countries for minor things that we can produce, like food, rice, oil, toothpaste, shoes. These things, we can. All these young boys are very intelligent boys. Lock them down and give them all the necessary. They will manufacture computers and everything for you. Leave them and they'll be playing betting. Yes, you can call me Doc again. Leave them and they'll be doing betting. Because the only option, easiest option. Let's go and bet. They run to the betting bureau, they say that no job because you have not trained them well. You have not given them opportunities. You have left them to their fate, so they'll go and bet. Today our youth are all betting. Even our girls are betting. Am I lying? Huh? And the bigger parties, all they know is that when they come, they will pull out the betting taxes so that they can continue to bet and become gamblers. How can you train your future leaders in this manner? How? Why are we doing this to ourselves? When we should be training them by this time to say that made in Ghana phones, made in Ghana iPads, made in Ghana computers, made in Ghana cars, made in Ghana motorbike. Our youth like motor, riding and buy cars, what do you call it, drifting and all that. What do they do? The only thing now they do is to produce girls. They are changing girl from one girl to another. That's all. This is what we have given them. So we as leaders, if you cannot train, let me put this statement out. If you cannot train your son to be better than you as a father, you have failed. As I have done. Quote and unquote. You can make it a quotation from today. If you cannot train your son to be better than you as a father, you have failed as a father. And if Ghana, you, all ye young men, cannot be better than us, then we have failed you. You talk about the party what? Who benefits from the duty-free? Government benefits from duty-free and you equally as citizens. Because you see, government is not, hey, what word should I use? When I say not sensible, it's an insult. But government is not, government is not thinking right. Look, you impose huge taxes on the very commodities that will help reduce the cost of doing business. So when those goods come into the market, instead of the price of rice selling at 5 cedis a kilo, now rice is selling at 50 cedis a kilo because of your duty. So Ghanaian citizens are paying huge prices for a cost 1 kilo of rice because you have increased the duty at the port. So you are making their life, the suffering more intensified, hardship intensified because you have put huge duties on it. Now, what happens is that, one, your citizens are buying high goods, inflation is coming. Number two, high cost of produce, people cannot survive, hardship is coming. Number three, production companies cannot produce, they are running out of business because the cost of doing business is too much because of the cost of raw materials. This is the policy. I say no more duty, and you think I'm losing revenue. I am not losing revenue. I am gaining more revenue. This is how it's going to happen. So, one, I said, take out the duty component. I take it. Now, instead of this being sold at 50 Ghana cedis, it comes to Ghana with no duty. So, it now be, they are going to sell it at 10 cedis. First of all, your citizens are not paying high cost of the product. Your production companies are producing more and now they are buying more. So they are increasing the tax component at the production level. So you are now getting more taxes when many companies are existing and producing. Because when you lift the tax, the duty from here, there are going to be more companies at the production level, manufacturing level, and industry. And they are giving you what? Revenue. Which revenue will you like to take? The one at the port that will stop them from producing and manufacturing and giving hardship, or the one that you lift out and everybody's life will be cushioned and companies are producing and you are getting taxed. Little drops of water makes what? Mighty ocean. Today, our ports are empty. And Togo are clearing goods. No cars are not coming. Raw materials are not coming. Foodstuff, when they come, they are too expensive. Prices of goods and services keep increasing astronomically every day. You know it, you are a lady. Which one will you prefer? This is not a question to you. So the tax reduction at the port is increasing tax revenue at the various sectors of the country and is cushioning the lives of the citizens. Thereby businesses are circulating and everything is moving on. So don't worry. Sovereignty. The policy of passports. I think explaining his would have covered your own. Look, Ayariga.
Please let me clarify that. Not in the sense of the passports, but then the mining sector taking all institutions away, making it only for government. If you can add the passports, it sounds more like you are secluding foreigners. That's what I asked about.
Yes. I'm not a Nazi. But I'm a patriotic leader, a nationalistic president. Why? Because when I give back what belongs to Ghanaians, I am grooming rich men and women in my country. I'm empowering local content and citizens rather than allowing foreigners to take over. I've been to the US several times. I've lived there. I've been to UK, US. There is nowhere in the world that a foreigner gets to get the heart of the nation resources. It's only in Africa. It's only in Africa that we are so dumb. I'm using this word with pride. We are so dumb that we give our wealth, the nation's property, to foreigners. It's only in Africa. Go to America and see whether you'll be entitled to go and work at even the most sensitive place of their country. Go to Europe and see whether you'll be allowed not to even go and take, but to work. They will not allow you. But in Ghana, we give it to them. Our wealth. It's like giving your wife to somebody. Can you imagine? It's true. I'm just explaining the literal word so that you understand how dangerous and how demeaning it is. Do you understand me? Why will you do that? Our oil, instead of these boys' future, we have given it to foreigners. Our goal, instead of empowering these guys to also get, look, let me tell you, let me be very sincere. All these foreigners who come here and say they come with whatever money, no. We are the one giving them sovereign power, sovereign guarantee. Ghana government gives them sovereign guarantee to go and borrow the money and come and take your wealth. If that is what we do, I can do it for all of them. Why don't we do it for our own? So that the money will remain here. Our city will appreciate. But we give it to them, they take it out, and our cities depreciate. And they repatriate the profits. And we hail them. When we see them, we salute. We see them driving today. We see the Lebanese guys and all. Now they can drive in Ghana, race their motorbike, misbehave, insult soldiers, insult police, bribe them and walk away. Come on, come on. Not under my leadership. You dare not. No. We are too weak. Our leaders are very weak. Ghana is becoming nothing for everybody. What do you mean? Are we serious? You people are taking this country for granted. Who is the president? Is the president serious? Do you know you are ruling the country, or you think you are ruling a bamboo tree? 30 million Ghanaians. You are joking with their lives. Come on.
Power.
Abusianti Dr. Hassan Ayariga or no ena APC amanyoko no where flag bearer and a press conference or yeah or the baby but or the bufu and I ja hoko to say or share sharing some more kana na chese bufu abapa abusia hani e de munyina besi nyame adom ochena yekoto aba Mestrel Ubomoden ya kona otuabana na wakai se my Ghana nti ena okwa ko ballot box no mo nti otuabana obetuama wodachi onkanko ene wo mma ene wabusua nyina edachi ena okotuabana menkoko ntokwa ame adomo chena okwa kokoto no boko ne kotena fie unim se okoko hawa mesrewa menkonko gina ho wabra ye kan aba no anhwa na obi ehurobo ama edenia NCCCS enti konekoto na ekofie mesre obomoden ya neto to abusua medusia madawasia ya mensha no ntene nim ncho ya besen share next video nim akra
Nama no kekame. Anyamia wati ANS Trading Agency Limited nka. Sa woka say door to door for no de ani wetwa. Esanse obi ni wa wo say one was door to door business nim. Wo nneoma wo UK a wo de ko Ghana. Ana say Germany a wo de ko Ghana. 3 to 5 weeks e be kwa kodu nipa ne puno anu say try. Da de mo demonstration ko say adwuma de we mu ne say wo mo bo no. E da form say boko. ANS Trading Agency Limited. E wo air freight special service. Ano nneoma ne ye de be fa plane. Entintempa na akwa kodu. Obetima fa sa akwa we ya so de nneoma Ghana, Aqua UK, and Germany. FAGG them, which are also at the I mean drop a bomb. ANS Trading Agency Limited pair and a 40-footer, any 20-footer container. FA UK, Edico Ghana, and Germany, Edico Ghana. Oma Manu Mayame, importo, exporto, them there for you. Omo Ghana Namani 0249 170 423. UK has over Freya 0790 802 7527. Germany 09173 771 2733. Ubenya ANS Trading Agency Limited. Our West Croydon ANS Trading Agency Limited. Quantum Brantem. Wana beboya baso. Maybe next time you feel afu from the bebro.
Let us say the more about abiexpress.com. AbiExpress.com the media, yeah, you and your phone near Manina, your pop no ne dia beku abiexpress.com e dia na wo hwehwe free Ghana ana Africa empaboa na satade kente papa bi na wo pe na wo dia dada wo ho wo party ase ana bibia wo hwehwe bia bra abiexpress.com ya dia ya pampo ne amanu o ya de bre wo kwa abiexpress.com ya dia mu ahwene e dia na wo hwehwe wo Europe abrochire ana wo America Australia no ho ana wo ana na se Asia na wo tie na bia wo bia ensuro kura e do ne se wo ba abiexpress.com na dia wo hwehwe no wo sabeka abiexpress.com we dia mo abiexpress.com we dia papa abiexpress.com ya de Ghana to our abrochire ho media let us say the more kwa baba abiexpress.com